That you pay attention and you ponder over the Quran. That you pay attention and you ponder over the Quran and the meanings of the Quran and the evidences that prove and give indication and the things that the Quran is indicating for you to do and live by. So the first one is what? Concern with the Quran by way of what? Recitation. Properly, making the proper, giving the huruf their proper rights and from the proper makharij. And then memorizing what is easy for you to memorize. Didn't say you have to become hafiz, but memorizing what is easy for you. This puts you in the, or structures your life with the Quran, right? In a manner where you become those who يَتْلُونَهُ حَقَّ تِلَاوَتِهِ. And the second one is what? Paying attention. Paying attention, right? And it's very important to pay attention because the Shaykh brings an example. We're going to get ready to conclude, inshallah. He says, أَرَأَيْتَ لَوْ أَنَّهُ جَاءَكَ خِطَابٌ وَلَمْ تَكُنْ قَارِئًا لَا تُحْسِنْ أَن تَقْرَأ أو كنت قارئا وجاءك بغير لغتك وهو خطاب أشعرت بأهميته من حيث الجهة التي جاءك منها الخطاب. He says, how would you feel? What would be your view? They came to you and address some speech, written, audio, right in person from a person or whatever it may be, person bringing you a message. And within this address, you were not a person who was, in this example, able to read. Okay? It came to you by form of you having to read. You cannot read very good. Or you're a person who can read, but it came in a language other than your language. Very important. وَهُوَ خِطَابٌ أُشْعِرْتَ بِأَهِمِّيَتِهِ. It was an address, it was a letter, it was something that was addressed to you and you knew its importance. You knew how important this was. It came from somewhere very important. You knew. Right? SubhanAllah. And a letter came from me from the University of Medina. It's in Arabic. I don't know Arabic yet, but I need to know what they're telling me. I need to know what's going on. It's in Arabic. What's going on? Right? It came from the embassy. It's my acceptance letter, but I don't know what they're telling me, where to go, where to get my visa, what's process next, what I'm supposed to do. You're going to be in a panic, right? You're going to be in a panic. You're going to be looking around. You're going to be trying to find out, how can I get this so I can understand it, right? This is the reality. And it came from, of course, the direction in which you knew the importance of this. He said, لنفرض, let us assume, أن الخطاب قيل لك هذا جاءك من الرئيس الفلاني. Let's think the letter came from such and such president, such and such leader. It's a letter to you. كيف شأنك مع هذا الخطاب? What would be your situation? What would be going on with you at that time when you get this and you can't read it? You don't understand it. وتأمل لحالك وأنت تبحث عمن يعينك على فهمه ومعرفة مضمونه ولا يخفيك منه نظرا دون فهم أو دراية بمضمونه. Pay attention to your circumstances, your state at this time, while you are looking around for someone to assist you and help you to understand what is within this particular address to you right here. And you're trying to find out so that you can understand it, so that you can comprehend it, so that you can act upon what it is that has been sent to you and do what it is of this address or these requirements or these instructions. فَكَيْفَ بِهَذَا الْكَلَامِ الْعَظِيمِ الْمُنَزَّلِ مِنْ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. So how much even more so should our state be with this speech that has come down from the Lord of the heavens and the earth, from the Lord of all that exists? We're not in a panic. We're not in a haste. We're not concerned to try to find out what is our Lord telling us. SubhanAllah. The people who go years and years throughout their life, and then some people are complacent upon this. Yes, there are obstacles in the way. And there have been cases where they didn't have someone properly to teach them. Right? They didn't have the resources. And they're complacent though. It doesn't bother them, and they're happy that I don't understand the Quran. And they're happy in the state that we're in. Why? Because economically we're doing well. The masjid looks very good. It's built up very nice. We have a lot of people come here. We don't need to know. We just need to pay someone to come in here and tell the people what the Quran say. I don't care what it says. I don't need to know. We have enough money to pay the resident sheikh, to pay the resident scholar, to pay the mu'allim, to pay the qari sab, whatever. Right? Sahih? We don't need to know anything. We just sit back in our office and make sure we keep the money coming in. I don't even know what the Quran says. And this is why we find so much foolishness around. Right? Because they don't know what the Quran says. So how are you going to feel Allah properly? How are you going to humble yourself? How are you going to crack and break down from the speech of Allah Ta'ala? You don't even know. The Qadi, he sounds very good though. Qadi Sahib, he recites very good. Right? The Sheikh, he recites very good. We bring them in from all over different places throughout the world. We have with us tonight Qadi so-and-so from such and such part of the Muslim world. He's visited us to tell us something about the Quran and recite to us. Oh, lights, camera, flashing lights, everything there. No one knows what's been said, but that was a nice gathering. That was beautiful. This man may have been speaking and reciting something about the torment of the grave and the hellfire, and the neglect of this act or the neglect of that act, or cheating people in business practices, or not being honest here, or not taking care of your household, or not being dutiful to the parents. You in here, none of that, benefited from none of that, can implement none of that, because you don't even know what's been said, but you know it's beautiful. The portion of the verse may have been mentioned, the torment of the hellfire, and it probably made you feel another way. Not the way that it should make you feel. It made you feel like the verses of Jannah. La ilaha illallah. But this is very important. And from the third of them is al-amal. We're going to stop here. So that is organizing, structuring your life and your relation to the Quran around these three affairs that make you be amongst those people. الَّذِينَ يَتْنُونَهُ حَقَّ تِلَاوَتِهِ أُولَٰئِكَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِهِ. Right? حَقَّ تِلَاوَة is the real the literal recitation of it with the tongue, with the proper huruf and the makharij, stopping where you're supposed to stop, and giving the elongation where you should, not elongation when you shouldn't, all of these things, right? Proper vowels, everything. Memorizing what is easy for you. Second is what? Being concerned with understanding, pondering, contemplating, reflecting, comprehending the meanings. And thirdly, and what is most important, along with that, is implementing and acting upon the Quran. We reached our time of what we want to present, inshallah ta'ala. That is just a summarization of mentioning how important this Quran is and how it is that we need to deal with it and make it a part of our life and reflect over it, and how we need to structure our lives and how we need to deal with the Quran. So in our next sittings, we will deal with some adab along with some explanation of the wordings of the verses in the chapters that you are learning. Okay? We'll understand some adab, meaning the etiquettes of the person who recites the Quran, who's learning the Quran, memorizing the Quran, who walks his life with the Quran in his breast. Right? Because when you think about the Quran, do you think it's befitting for a person that has Al-Fatiha in his chest to be found in places that are no good for him? Right? You're carrying the Quran. Not literally carrying a mushaf. You're carrying the Quran. A person with Al-Fatiha in his chest and he's downtown at the Royal Farm Center, whatever they call that place, convention center, and he's at a rap concert. Is this befitting? This is not proper adab for the hamla of the Quran, for the hamil, for the person who is carrying the Quran. Does it mean carrying the mushaf? No. It means actually carrying the verses of Allah in your chest. Is that befitting? No, it's not befitting. Huh? So this is very important, that we understand the realities of what we talked about today And then we begin to learn some of the etiquettes of the person that is a hamil, which you all are, carrying the Quran, carrying it within yourself, carrying it to others, carrying its legacy, right? It shouldn't be done in this particular manner, how you should be and how you shouldn't be. Right? We won't all fall short in these particular areas, but it's very good to be reminded and to know and to learn, right? So that we now know, and we can help others with it, and we can be reminded if we forgot. Right? And of course, some of the mufradat, some of the understanding of the words that you're reciting. So now when you hear this, now you understand what's being said. Inshallah ta'ala. هذا والله أعلم وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. Any questions? Any questions? No questions? Barakallahu feekum.